What's up everyone, Soldier First Class here, and today's mission, we're going to discuss Final Fantasy XIV's expansion 6.0 and give a few predictions on what the new jobs could be. With the Final Fantasy XIV announcement show being just a few days away, I'll be going into why I believe they could be true and examples from the game we've already seen to suggest these might actually happen. Keep in mind there will be major spoilers for Final Fantasy XIV's Shadowbringers expansion and a few for the Astrologian questline. So I think I want to start out with my favorite prediction so far, and one that's actually supported through the Eden Raid series, and specifically the character Gaia. In all the jobs and classes we have in 14, there's something very unique about Gaia that has stuck out to me. We don't have any weaponized hammer-wielding classes or jobs in the game yet, and while that may not seem like a big deal in a Japanese role-playing game, Western RPGs have grown to feature a lot of hammer-wielding characters. That being said, I think this could feed into the Time Mage job. Gaia, and in extension the Raid series of Eden, features Gaia with a hammer and damaging time magic. In fact, your first introduction with her powers is when she turns this creature into dust. But before the enemy disappears, you hear the sound of a clock ticking, and there's a delay in when the attack lands. There's also the fact that her former partner as an Ascian was named Mitran, whose real name turns out to be Artemis. I promise this is going somewhere. Artemis is a significant name when it comes to time mechanics in Final Fantasy because it closely resembles the Japanese translation of Ultimecia, which is Arutmecia. Ultimecia from Final Fantasy VIII is directly associated with time and space, and Ascian abilities involve being able to travel through space, while Gaia also features an affinity with time magic. There's also the segment of the Raid series where Ascian Prime, the combination of Artemis and Gaia, are trying to trigger time compression, much like Ultimecia did in Final Fantasy VIII. Combine all this with the fact that the music is also directly ripped from Final Fantasy VIII, and I think there's a case to be made that we'll be getting a new caster for 6.0 that involves time magic. Haste, slow, and stop are all mechanics involved in the game already, and combine that with Gaia, we could also be getting a hammer-wielding time mage job. If Yoshi P comes out wearing a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon t-shirt, I'm probably gonna lose my mind. As a side note, I think Time Mage also makes sense because of how they combine the plotline for Shadowbringers with the space and time travel elements of the Omega and Alexander raids. They weaved those two raids into the lore of the Twinning Dungeon in Shadowbringers, and it seems like time and space travel is very important to the world of the source. My next prediction is one that I'm still a little up in the air about. There's a minor reference that could lead to a new healer or general caster type class, and that's Geomancer. Since Yoshi P loves Yasumi Matsuno in Final Fantasy Tactics, and let's face it, who doesn't, I can't say that a Geomancer is outside of the realm of possibility. There's also evidence in-game to support this, as part of the Astrologian storyline involves a Geomancer from the Far East. And I do think this could be a pretty unique job considering their affinity with earthly elements. Instead of just normal elements like ice and fire, the Geomancer can focus on weather and geological patterns for matters of attack, defense, and healing. Water is also known as the basis of all life, and Geomancers could use an ability called Healing Rain, which could be an area of effect healing ability. Earth elements could be used as a defensive buff, such as Stone Skin type ability. Fire and Wind could be offensive or defensive as well. I think it could be a very well-rounded caster class that could employ a lot of different tricks in its arsenal and be an incredible asset in raids and dungeons. One last minor prediction, and I don't know how I see this being implemented exactly, but it's still possible, is Chemist. The evidence for this one is kinda minor, but it makes sense in context. Riki Tio is a character that we discover in patch 5.3, and she specifically states that she wants to become a warrior of light who helps the people with potions. Sounds like a familiar job class, doesn't it? While I'm not sure that a full job itself could be made of Chemist, I think a limited job could definitely be on the table. Chemist could have its own questline and be nice for people that want added story content or context, but I don't feel as if it would carry itself very far in raids and dungeons, especially in the Savage content. I've also seen quite a few Necromancer predictions, but honestly this one feels less likely to me, mostly due to ratings concerns and censorship issues in other countries. If I recall properly, China has restrictions on content showing bones or skeletons, and that seems like a detriment to Necromancer being added to the game. It's not entirely impossible, but I wouldn't get my hopes up for this one. Overall, I feel as though Time Mage and Geomancer could be very possible in 6.0, and I honestly don't believe we're done with our adventures in the first by any means. That's why I feel the Eden raids are so important to the next line of jobs releasing with 6.0, and my Time Mage comes into play. Geomancer is still up in the air for me like I said, but could be an extremely versatile healing class that also contributes buffs, debuffs, and offensive skills. And then I'll just say Chemist is my wildcard limited job that is possible, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. So what do you think, soldiers? What are your 6.0 job predictions? Let me know in the comments section below. Hey guys, before we do the normal outro of this video, I wanted to give a special shout out to Bonnie and Ayumi of the Discord and my Twitch mods, who have helped me with the lore and theory crafting of this video with the job predictions. They deserve all the credit in the world, and I can't thank them enough. Also, don't forget we've been streaming over at twitch.tv/soldier_firstclass, I would love to see you guys all over there. We're running dungeons, we're doing raids, we're doing Bozia content. We're doing just a little bit of everything when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV. And I would love to see all you guys over there supporting the stream, hanging out with me, and we can even play together. If you're on Primal, I would love to play with you guys in all the raids and dungeons and stuff and all that content. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and let's do the outro. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to omni-slash that like button. Let me know in the comments section below what your job predictions are for Final Fantasy XIV's 6.0 expansion. Subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell to join the ranks of Soldier today. And for all the latest Final Fantasy XIV news, rumors, and trailers, I'm Soldier First Class, and I'm on to the next mission. Later, guys.